Hey, it's Breaking the News Plus on this Tuesday night. We're going to turn to the pastime that is sports. My favorite of all the teams, most of you know, Minnesota Lynx, bar none. That's my team. And to join me tonight is Andrew Dukowitz. He's with Zone Coverage, and he knows this Minnesota Lynx team backwards and forwards. And we got to be honest right now, when the best player in the world is on your team and she goes down, it's a tough week. Andrew, what's the Lynx without Fee?
You know, they're still a pretty darn good basketball team, but they're probably not the best team in the league by 6 games without Fee. Thankfully, we got an injury update yesterday, and it sounds like she's going to be evaluated in a couple weeks. It sounds like it's an ankle injury, and hopefully this will be a blessing in disguise as Fee can kind of rest up from all of her other little bumps and bruises from the season.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both know, and any fan watching this knows, I think Fee, I don't want to make it a contest between the players on the Lynx, but Fee took the loss to the Liberty in the finals that was totally on the refs, I'm just going to say it, real hard. And she had something to prove this year. So the thought that she's not with the team, it scares people. Like she's out for the rest of the year, but you're optimistic she's just going to rest up and come back?
Yeah, I mean, first on Fee taking that loss hard, I'll never forget her exit press conference last year. She made the reference of kind of what she learned from that finals, and she said not to let the games be close enough for the refs to matter, which is how the Lynx have been playing all season. I mean, they're blowing teams out a lot of times. Now, again, it sounded like it was a less serious ankle injury. The team came out and said they'd be reevaluating in a couple weeks. I think it's the team being more cautious than anything else. She was able to walk off on her own power. She came back to Mayo Clinic Square. And just to be completely honest, I mean, Fee has been dealing with a banged up shoulder the last 3 games. She had back spasms due to a bulging disc earlier in the season. And I mean, she even had some kind of tough times at the very onset of the season with knee injuries. So I think this is just a good opportunity for Fee to get some rest, take 2 or 3 weeks off, come back, you know, as August turns to September and really just be ready for that playoff run. And Franks have built a 6-game lead for the 1 seed in the league for this reason. If something were to happen, it gives them the ability to be able to tell Napheesa Collier, hey, take a few weeks off, get right. We're going to be just fine without you for 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, holding down the fort. As you said, Andrew, this is an incredible basketball team. In my opinion, we have the best coach in the world in Cheryl Reeve. We have players with confidence, players with experience, Kayla McBride, Jessica Shepard, Courtney Williams. I mean, people who have been around before and know what it's like to play the game with Fee and without her and even for her, because there is no question to me that she's the MVP this year. She's been playing like it every single game, and they see that. Her teammates see that, and so they're going to show you who they are when she's, you know, not able to play physically. They're going to show up probably a little bit extra because she's not there.
Completely agree. This team has no shortage of talent, even without Fee. Courtney Williams is a multi-time All-Star, made the All-Star game this year. Kayla McBride has made it the last 2 years in a row. You know, this is a team that has a ton of talent. They have Alana Smith at center, who is, you know, kind of on a campaign for an all-defensive team. And they added some reinforcements late this weekend by adding another piece in Dejanay Carrington, who was last year's most improved player and an all-defensive first-team guard last season. So with Napheesa Collier out, certainly they are going to be missing her. I mean, reigning defensive player of the league, who is also leading the league in scoring. But they have a lot of talent that should be able to at least hold this team over until Fee is able to come back.
And to your point, Andrew, this is, while it may be worrisome to fans, the smartest basketball move. You need to protect Napheesa Collier at all costs. And she's earned the right to rest, and this injury, maybe is a blessing in disguise if it's not serious, that earns her that rest, that cushion they have built, and that confidence that she'll come back when she needs to come back. Because Napheesa Collier is certainly not a player that anybody with any knowledge of her game or the game of basketball is thinking is going to milk an injury. She wants to play more than anyone else.
Exactly. I think the second she's ready to get back out on a court, she will be back out on the court. Like I said, she's been battling through stuff all season. Anytime we talk to Coach Reeve, she mentions that Fee's always dealing with something. She's had a pretty thick shoulder brace on the last 3 games. Like I said, the back spasms, the bulging disc, the knee swelling earlier season. Even last year, she was dealing with a plantar fasciitis injury. I mean, I don't know if she's been at full strength all season, to be completely honest. I really do think it'll be a good thing for their playoff chances. Now, in the short term, certainly, I wouldn't expect the Lynx to rattle off 8 games in a row here, but this really might be something that Fee needs to just get healthy for that playoff push.
And obviously, we always want Fee on the court, but aren't you I know I am. Are you a little bit curious to see what this team looks like? Tonight is their first game without her. What's the team look like without Fee for an extended period of time?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see who steps up. Like you mentioned, Jessica Shepard, she is likely going to be kind of thrust into the starting role. And 2 years ago, she was the starting center on this team. She's used to starting. She started overseas the last year and a half. I think she'll be ready for the moments. I also am excited to see what Kayla McBride is going to look like being the #1 offense on the Lynx, something that we haven't seen in years. I think there's a lot to learn from this. And when you're going into a playoff series, especially with, it seems like a collision course with New York again at some point, whether it's the finals or not, all of this is just good information of what Coach Reeve can turn to in different situations. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, you'd love to have Fee here, but to your point, there's a lot to learn from a game like this against Seattle tonight, and there's a lot to learn from this stretch of just what this team will look like.
And what I keep thinking about, and maybe it's just because I'm old, Andrew, is that because of the CBA negotiations kind of at a game of chicken right now, because all the player contracts are basically up for all players and then expansion next year, this might be the last season of this Lynx team as we know it, these players on one team. And that's special. And this team has said last year and this year. I remember Fee telling me that the day after they lost to the Liberty in that final. What made the team special and why they wanted it so badly is because they really like playing with each other. And they know that again this year.
It's this team's superpower. It really has been the last 2 years, is their connectiveness, their ability to be their authentic selves with each other. And I think it bleeds through the TV when you're watching this team. They are all being themselves. They're all showing up the way they want to show up, whether it's Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann and the Stud Buds, whether it's Alana Smith and talking about her mental health, or K-Mac and her mental health. This team just believes in each other so much that they don't have to put on this public facade. And you're right, with the CBA coming up, this probably is the last, 2 months of what this iteration of the Lynx team will look like. And for some, that'll probably be unfortunate because this has been a really fun team to cover the last 2 years. But also, all of these women deserve to get paid. Let's just be honest. And if they're going to have better opportunities elsewhere, if certain members of this team find better roles or better financial stability elsewhere, certainly can't blame them if they do decide to leave. But the other thing I'll say is I wouldn't be surprised if most of them decide to take better contracts to come back and keep playing with their friends, because at the end of the day, you got to like what you do for your job.
Yeah, and I think and Fee's a big part of that CBA negotiation and negotiating for the players that like the Jessica Shepards who you mentioned, or the Alana Smith. Though sure, no, they're not getting the headlines of the WNBA touting them to watch, but they like being on this team. And if they get paid fairly for the work they do, maybe they just choose to play here anyway. What's another 10 grand to go to Seattle or something like that?
Exactly. I think the other thing that's maybe undersold about the Lynx is just how much the fans mean to the players on this team. You look around other venues in the league, and it's not 8,000 Lynx fans. It's 3,000 Dream fans or 3,000 Connecticut fans. I think playing in a place that has this type of fan base is appealing. And the other side of it is they have a really beautiful practice facility at Mayo Clinic Square. They share it with the Timberwolves, obviously, but they have kind of all the cutting edge training stuff that a lot of these other WNBA teams don't have. So whether it's, personal bonds that might bring players back, or a fan base that's fun to play in front of, or these extra kind of things where, you have shot clocks that tell you if your arc is too low on your shots. There's a lot of things that might be drawing these gals back to the Lynx next year.
My last question for you, Andrew. What do you make of the Carrington trade? Was she a good get for Minnesota at this point?
Yeah, I really like the trade. I will be completely honest. I've really enjoyed covering Diamond Miller the last 2 years. She is just a phenomenal human being, great attitude, a fellow gratitude journalist. Meaning if you journal what you're grateful for every morning, it changes your mindset. So I will miss having her around the building quite a bit. But DeJournette brings a certain edge to this Lynx team that they don't have. She is a defensive specialist that goes kind of 110% at all times. She's earned a reputation of kind of being a tough, gritty player, and she is going to give Cheryl Reeve a lot of options off the bench. The other thing about DeJournette is she is a Cheryl Reeve player through and through, someone that sacrifices for team success, someone that rises to her teammates' abilities, and someone that you want to be in a foxhole with. So I think for a playoff run, this is a great move. And then, like I say, you never know with her contract ending at the end of the season. She's only 27 years old. This might be a move that sticks around and is a new building block for the Lynx.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting for fans to get a look at what she brings. And I couldn't agree with you more that if Cheryl Reeve got to design a personality type in the W, it would be DeJournette Carrington through and through. Well, I'm not going to stay up till 11 o'clock for this tip-off tonight, but I know you will, and we'll be looking forward to your coverage of the game tonight in Seattle and beyond. Andrew, with Zone Coverage, thank you so much for being on Breaking the News Plus.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Take care. That's all for us on the Plus tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Take care.